So let's dive in to what I think is the most important metric for real estate investors, and that is net operating income. Before we start though, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we will get to them at the end of this webinar. So net operating income, the NOI tells you how much money you make from a given investment property on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. It's sort of a version of a sort of high-level income statement on your rental business. So many investors claim that this is the most important metric in your investing business because it has a direct impact on your cash flow for single-family homes and condo investors. And it's even going to dictate the value of your property when you get into multifamily and commercial real estate. So the good news is that this is really easy to figure out. To calculate it, you take your total income and subtract operating expenses. Now, when we say operating expenses, you should never include your mortgage payments or taxes in the NOI calculation. Those are not considered operational expenses. So all of your yearly operating expenses like insurance, property management, utility bills, all those things should be included. These are the recurring expenses. That's the best way to think about this. So they're not large capital expenditures like roof repair or new appliances or anything like that. And it includes all income. So don't forget to include income that you get from maybe laundry machines, extra fees for parking or storage, or any service fees that you get. You all have to include all of those into your total income. It's not just rents. So as I mentioned, the calculation excludes capital expenditures, taxes, mortgage payments, and mortgage interest. Investors use the NOI solely to judge a building's ability to generate revenue and profit. It tells you if a specific investment will generate enough income to cover your mortgage expenses. Pretty straightforward. So when we're using the NOI to evaluate a potential investment, remember that projected rents could prove inaccurate. And if a building is improperly managed or there's market volatility, income can be inconsistent. Here's a quote from an industry thought leader. This is Patrick Carlisle, who's the chief market analyst over at Compass, who has a quote here about vacancy and really drives home, that vacancy could be your biggest expense, particularly during these times. So read over his quote there, and then I'm going to turn it over to Victor to show us an example of an actual property's net operating income.
Okay. Thank you, Brad. So today we're going to look at the portfolio information from our Stessa investor named Chris. He owns several properties around the US, and we're going to toggle between his entire portfolio to see the performance metrics. So let me set the screen here. So this is Chris's dashboard. What we're going to look at is one specific property, 5213 Kevin Square. Here we lay out his net operating income in a simple to read box. We're able to toggle through his monthly and annual net operating income. These figures are calculated on a pro forma basis. To view the expenses for this specific property, we can go down to the property details by clicking on this photo, and it will bring us to a property page. This is where you're able to enter the pro forma expenses, which automatically calculates your net operating income. One other place to find net operating income is if you go to your transactions. Once data is filled, we have reports, and you could generate an income statement. This report will be created in an Excel file and easy to download and view up on your computer.